Assassin's Promise by Thomas Woodward, Chapter 124. The wind had died. With it, the storm had given over. The relentless beat of the sun was again upon us. We had resupplied without incident. Stannon had been true to his word, giving Eve and I leave to find something more suitable to allow her to blend in more effectively. Eve had acted strangely when we were alone together. She seemed terrified of Stannon and had been closed-mouthed through most of our brief time alone. More than once, I saw her looking over her shoulder at something unseen. With some luck, we had found a linen shift and a sturdy workwoman's shawl. Even drab as they were, lacking even a semblance of color, Eve wore them with a grace that made my heart quicken. Eve cast a worried look in my direction as we trudged along. No one had been willing to sell horse flesh to outsiders. Stannon had been met with resistance when he had checked the local stables for mounts. Finding them more heavily guarded, he chose to hire a small wagon driver to take us to the next town. The cart was no faster than we could walk, but gave us the benefit of a guide. Stannon rode next to the driver, the brim of his dark hat pulled down over much of his face. The driver himself looked worried, after having unsuccessfully tried to draw Stannon into conversation for the third time today. He nervously flicked his eyes between us and his wares, heavy burlap bags that were stacked into the back of the cart in neat rows. I rested my arm on the cart and felt it rock back and forth under my hand as it bumped along. The money had not been wasted. Casting my mind back to our earlier trek, we had almost not survived the affair. Eve moved along next to me, the new clothes hiding most of her sunburst-colored curls under a low hood. I tried to guess how long we had come, but travel ceased to have meaning after the first few miles. There was simply no room available in the cart. Stannon did not look like he was going anywhere anytime soon. "Kind sir," the driver said to Stannon, "what be your fancy in Motsmock? It's only a small town to the south of us. No other towns for miles." The driver waited a moment to see if there was a reaction. Stannon gave none. "I understand wanting to keep to yourself. There's bad folk that pass through these parts. Me, I'm thankful for the extra passengers. Makes us less inviting to thieves. It's hard times now. Good days where I could pay for a full troop of 6 merchant guards. Now I'm lucky to stay fed with a roof over my head. You did me a good turn, fine sir. And your companions, they seem nice enough." The driver casually nodded towards Eve and I. Stannon turned away and pulled his hat down farther. "I get it, sir. I'll leave you to your own thoughts now." The driver blew out a slow sigh and lowered his eyes back to the ground as the heavy plow horse pulled the cart forward ploddingly. How many miles further could our destination be? I looked ahead and saw only lightly swirling dust that made a grayish tan haze. It was just past midday, if my guess was right. We passed another cart with a family all bundled in the back of it, meager produce being pushed out of the way to accommodate them. Silently, I wished for a similar arrangement. My feet hurt. It felt as if we had been walking for days, not hours. Eve touched my hand and I brightened. Suddenly, my pains were less important. She had that effect on me. I wanted her to come away with me, whatever that meant. But I would see the great cities. I would not let go of my dream. The dunes rose like a silent sea around us. I could collapse in that silence. Just another mile, I lied to myself.